Robert Donovan, BT3. My final cruise, I think, was a 6-month cruise. It ended in August of '68. And we're in Newport on the Courtney. And at that time, we were getting a bunch of new kids on board. So it's like, okay, here we go. We got 3 weeks training. And a chief petty officer had spoken to me about realism. And I had looked at some things, and my classification in the Navy would have been at sea. I already had 3 years in, approaching 4, and I said to myself, you know, sea duty is pretty rough. You know, if I could get a chance to go on a base for a couple of years and then back to sea, that might be interesting. You know, I might. And of course, there was the college opportunity, which stupid me didn't take. But it might have been interesting, but there was no way. My military classification, trade, skill, was at sea. And it's like, Jesus, you know, if we got some new equipment, some new engines and things like that, you know, it might be different, but steam at sea, and steam was about to go away at that time. So I said to myself, I can't, you know, maybe at the 18th year in service, they might give you 2 years in Great Lakes or San Diego, and you could be a company commander of boot camp. That would be your final reward. I said, well, 18 years is a long way, long way away. So anyway, I got some like rough treatment, you know, like, oh, you enlist, re-enlist, that's you know, good thing for you. You know. Well, I'm not a farmer from Kansas, you know. I know I'm going to go out and strike out on my own. I'm going to do what I want to do, you know. And there was a little money offered, but it was nothing to jump up and down about as compared to today. And then finally, an officer spoke to me, or executive officer. He was a lieutenant, JG, and. Was he a lieutenant, JG? I forget. No, he might have been a full lieutenant too. And you know, I said, look, I joined the Navy. I made a decision to do that, and I said, I did my duty. I served my time. I did what I promised I would do for you guys. You know, I just want to go home, and I want to be able to strike out on my own, get employed, and you know, gainfully employed, and probably hoping for a good life. Who wouldn't? That's probably what everybody does. Of course, we had some guys that came from out in the wilderness, and they joined the Navy because they never saw the ocean. And they knew when they went back home, they were either going to drive a tractor, or maybe they'd drive a delivery truck with refrigerators. And they knew they were never going to see it again. And like, okay, they knew that was their destined future. So maybe the Navy, or any military branch, you know, they try to win you over with this. Well, you get free food, you get free sleeps, free this, free that. You know, like, okay, I can take care of myself. Yeah. So I had to ponder, but I always pondered my way. And I told myself, I'm sorry, I did my duty. You know, it's Vietnam era. I did my duty. I was willing to go to Vietnam, but I got to sign this. You know. And so the lieutenant says to me, okay. He knew that the rationale was good, you know. But at that time, too, I think this was very nice of them, that I was getting out in October, and the last 2 weeks, they sent me to a camp off of the piers, but still on the naval base, up Narragansett Bay, where there was housing, nice rooms, you know, 2 guys to a room, nice bunks, you know, not like a rack on a ship. You know, this was nice. And it had a baseball field, it had this, it had that, it had a pool room. It's like, okay, here we go. And you got assigned different duties during the day. And then in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, you go play pool. You kind of got a breather. And I think it was intentional that you get this breather to separate yourself from military jargon and military toughness, so that when you went back home, you weren't a major pain in the butt to the civilians around you, because that was happening at that time. And I guess they recognized it, because guys were going home, they were nasty, angry, And that hurts you because when you go for a job or something like that, you get, you know, wherever it may be, on a loading dock or wherever, in a steel factory, because that was a big one back then, you know. You're going to get in fights, you're going to get fired. It just doesn't blend into making sense and trying to advance your life. But that 2-week relaxation at that little camp out there, that was great. We played baseball, we did this. The little duties that they said to us to do were like a piece of cake, you know. And you got interviewed. I got interviewed by a big full bird, 4-stripe captain. And, well, what are you going to do when you go home? I said, I'm going to go to work, sir. Well, yeah, I want to do this, you know. He said, oh, good, you know. He recognized that I took advantage of my rate. And there was a couple more interviews, and not bad, nothing invasive or excessive, and I did that. And they let me go like 4 days early. Okay, go ahead. I said, okay, this is good. You know, so hit the bus and head home, man. You know, 5-hour drive home on the bus. Yeah, so that was great. And I went right to work 2 days later. And it's like, okay, I'm free. Now I'm going to go out. I'm going to make my life the best I can for myself and my loved ones. And that was it. Clearly, nice. Yeah, great.